The man disguised himself as a janitor, pulled out a wire, and sawed through a plastic pipe. Then he slipped his resume inside the pipe, picked up a box, and walked into the elevator. Once inside, he took off his janitor uniform, revealing a suit and tie underneath. Confidently, he walked into the bank lobby, pretending to be a new employee reporting for his first day. The receptionist told him there was no record of his hiring, but the man calmly explained that the HR department had already sent his offer letter. After checking, the receptionist actually found his employment letter inside the pipe, confirming he was indeed a new staff member. While chatting, the man quietly swiped her employee badge, used it to access the bank's vault, and stood before piles of cash stacked like mountains. Without hesitation, he stuffed $3 million into his case and walked out of the bank as if nothing had happened. Outside, the FBI was already waiting for him. Was he caught? Of course not. It turned out the FBI had actually sent Neil to steal the money. It was all part of a test of the bank's security system. 3 days earlier, every bank in the area had received a warning from someone claiming to be an architect who planned to rob them. By analyzing the signature on the card, Neil discovered the sender was none other than a wealthy tycoon named Mike. To get closer to him, they decided to start with Mike's assistant. Neil staged a chance encounter, and during their chat, he secretly stole the assistant's phone and handed it off to his partner, who cloned all its data. From the information on the phone, they learned Mike was planning to rob First Union Bank the next day at noon. The next day, alarms suddenly went off inside the bank. Armed FBI agents stormed the building, but after searching, they realized the alarm had been triggered by a clock. Things weren't that simple, though. The news soon reported that alarms had gone off at 36 banks across the city, forcing the FBI to spread thin. Neil immediately understood that this was a distraction. Mike's real target was the central bank. Sure enough, Amanda, who managed the bank's security system, had already been taken hostage by the robbers. Neil and his team crawled through the ventilation ducts and slipped inside the bank. Meanwhile, the robbers forced Amanda to enter the password to open the vault. They stuffed the money into suitcases, then two of them tied Amanda to a chair in an office. To save her, Neil cut the power, plunging the bank into darkness. Taking advantage of the chaos, they sneaked in and freed Amanda. Just then, police sirens wailed outside. The robbers grabbed their money-filled cases and escaped through the back door. When Neil ran after them, all he saw was a busy crowd. The robbers had already vanished, leaving behind only one of their masks. After counting, the bank confirmed that $82 million had been stolen. Analyzing the footage, Neil noticed something strange. Based on the suitcase size, each could hold around $8 million, and with 4 robbers carrying 2 suitcases each, 8 in total, that should only be $66.6 million. But $82 million was missing, meaning over $10 million was unaccounted for. They suspected an inside job. Neil and his partner, Hai, went back to the vault with Amanda. They asked her to open safe deposit box number 213, but Amanda refused, saying it contained a client's private property and could only be opened with a warrant. The FBI then showed her a key given by the bank manager, explaining that the box had been rented 2 months ago by Amanda's uncle, who had actually died 2 years earlier. Hai suspected Amanda had rented it under her uncle's name. To prove her innocence, Amanda handed over the key. When they opened the box, it was filled with stacks of cash. Meanwhile, Mike, completely unaware that Amanda had exposed him, was leisurely playing golf, not knowing the storm that was about to come his way.